Welcome to the third in the series of assembly workflow for our massive project, the ship wheel. In this particular video, we are going to be inserting a new part, and at the end of the day, we are going to have something that looks like this. Like I said in the previous, we followed a different approach this time. But at the end of this video, we should have what we have on the page 15. So let's jump into this. Alright. Now that we're here, the first thing as usual would be to save. And for this, under our assembly directory, I would call this 3 and say save. Now what we do is we go back to our data panel, and under assembly we select on 2 to say insert into current design, and with this we have this on our screen. Alright, so okay, I would like it to be rotated actually, so I'll just put mine this way, 90 degrees rotation. Alright, then we go back to ship wheel and insert our arc. So insert into current design. I'll bring it in once, and I could leave it this way and say okay, cancel, and then following that we would place our constraint. So we go over to joint, I select or scan in, revolve to the inner circle here, and select on the center of this circle, which is the inner face for the arc, as you can see it here. Then I want that to be joined with, let's just use this particular one here. You could select anyone actually. So I want it to be joined with the center of this circle also. So when we do that, it's going to be a cylindrical constraint. We notice that the direction is not what we want, so we rotate this way by 90 degrees and say enter. Alright, so now we have something that looks like this. So what we have now is that there's a constraint between just these two, but we do not have constraints between this part and then this. So to solve that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to create constraint between both of them. However, since this is already in its proper position, what we'll do is we go to assemble and say as built joint. So we do not need to select like the way we did previously, which all we need to do is to click on the two different components that should be that the constraint should be between. So I select on this, select first component and select the second component. So as built joint, and we could make it cylindrical and say snap the snap point. So what I would do is I would shut this down for a bit and place the snap point to be here. Alright, now we bring this back. What we have is this, and I would say okay. Alright, now there is constraint between these two. So now rather than bringing multiple elements of this arc and applying the constraints repeatedly, what we do is what we did previously. We go to create, and then we say pattern, circular pattern. We click on the component, which is this, and the axis we created for the previous video. So we select on this part. Now we have all of this going around. It's also 8, and we say okay. Alright, and then at the end of this, what we would like to do is to place rigid combinations between all of this, so that when one part moves, the rest of it follows through. So we go over to assemble and say rigid group. To do this, we select the component 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we just actually select all of them to make them a rigid group this way with this. Yes. So now all of these are rigid together, and then if one moves, the rest of them move also. So we'll go ahead to save this, and we'll meet again in the next video.